Om Sai Ram, Jai Mohanji, Namaste. I'm Nikunj Naredi, and today I will be reading the fifth chapter of Sai Satcharitra, which comprises of Baba's return with Chand Patil's marriage party, welcomed and addressed as Sai, contact with other saints, his attire and daily routine, the story of the Padukas, wrestling bout with Muhyiddin and the change in life, turning water into oil, and the pseudo Guru Johar Ali. Return with Chand Patil's marriage party. As hinted in the last chapter, I shall now describe first how Sai Baba returned to Shirdi after his disappearance. They lived in Aurangabad district, in a village called Dhop, a well-to-do Muslim gentleman by name Chand Patil. While he was making a trip to Aurangabad, he lost his mare. For 2 long months, he made a diligent search but could get no trace of the lost mare. After being disappointed, he returned from Aurangabad with the saddle on his back. After travelling 4 course and a half, which is 12 miles, he came on the way to a mango tree at the foot of which sat a fakir. He had a cap on his head, wore a kafni, which is a long robe, and had a satka, which is a stick under his arm. And he was preparing to smoke a chilam, which is the pipe. On seeing Chand Patil pass by, he called out to him and asked him to have a smoke and to rest a little. The fakir asked him about the saddle. Chand Patil replied that it was of his mare, which was lost some time back. The fakir asked him to make a search near the Nala, which is a nearby stream. He went, and wonder of wonders, he found the mare there. He thought that this fakir was no ordinary man. The chilam was ready for being smoked, but two things were wanting. First, the fire to light the pipe, and secondly, water to wet the chapi, which is the piece of cloth. The fakir took his prongs and thrust it forcibly into the ground, and out came a live ember, with which he put on the pipe. Then he dashed a satka on the ground from where water began to ooze. The chapi was wetted with that water, then wrung out and wrapped around the pipe. Thus everything being completed, the fakir smoked the chilam and then gave it to Chand Patil. On seeing all of this, Chand Patil was wonderstruck. He requested the fakir to come to his home and accept his hospitality. Next day, they went to Chand Patil's house and stayed there for some time. Patil was a village officer at Dhop. His wife's brother's son was to be married, and the bride was from Shirdi. So Patil made preparations to start for Shirdi for the marriage. The fakir also accompanied the marriage party. The marriage went off without any hitch. The party returned to Dhop, except the fakir, who stayed back in Shirdi and remained there forever. How the fakir got the name Sai. When the marriage party came to Shirdi, it alighted at the foot of a banyan tree in Bhagat Mahalsapati's field near Khandoba's temple. The carts were loosened in the open courtyard of Khandoba's temple, and the members of the party descended one by one. And the fakir also got down. Bhagat Mahalsapati saw the young fakir getting down and accosted him, Ya Sai, which means welcome Sai. Others also addressed him as Sai, and thenceforth he became Sai Baba. Contact with the other saints. Sai Baba began to stay in the deserted masjid, which is a mosque. One saint named Devidas had been living in Shirdi for many years before Baba came there. Baba liked his company. He stayed with him in the Maruti temple, in the Chawri, and for some time lived alone. Then came another saint by name Janki Das. Baba spent most of his time in talking with him, or Janki Das went to Baba's residence. So also one householder saint from Puntambe by name Gangagir always frequented Shirdi. When he first saw Sai Baba carrying pitchers of water in both hands for watering the garden, he was amazed and openly said, Bless this Shirdi, that it got this precious jewel. This man is carrying water today, but he is not an ordinary fellow. As this land of Shirdi was fortunate and meritorious, it secured this jewel. So also one famous saint by name of Anand Nath of Yevala Mutt, a disciple of Akalkot Maharaj, came to Shirdi with some people. When he saw Sai Baba, he openly said, This is a precious diamond in reality. Though he looks like an ordinary man, he is not an ordinary stone, but a diamond. You will realize this in near future. Saying this, he returned to Yevala. This was said when Sai Baba was a youngster. Baba's dress and daily routine. In his young days, Sai Baba grew the hair on his head, never had his head shaved. He dressed like an athlete. When he went to Rahata, 3 miles from Shirdi, he brought with him small plants of marigold, Jai and Jui, and after cleaning them, he planted and watered them. A devotee by name Vaman Tatya supplied him daily with 2 unbaked earthen pitchers. With these, Baba himself used to water the plants. He drew water from the well and carried the pitchers on his shoulders. In the evening, the pitchers were kept at the foot of the neem tree. As soon as they were placed there, they broke as they were made of mud and not baked. Next day, Tatya supplied 2 fresh pitchers. This course went on for 3 years. And with Baba's toil and effort, there grew a garden. On this site at present stands this big mansion, Samadhi Mandir of Baba, which is now frequented by so many devotees. The story of the Padukas under the neem tree. A devotee of Akkalkot Maharaj by name Bhai Krishnaji Ali Bakar worshipped the photo of Akkalkot Maharaj. He once thought of going to Akkalkot, take the darshan of the Padukas of the Maharaj, and offer his sincere prayers there, but before he could go there, he got a vision in his dream. Akkalkot Maharaj appeared in his vision and said to him, "Now Shirdi is my resting place. Go there and offer your worship." So Bhai changed his plan and came to Shirdi, worshipped Baba, stayed there for 6 months, and was happy. As a reminiscence of this vision, etc., he prepared the Padukas and installed them on an auspicious day of Shravan, Shaka 1834, 1912 AD, under the neem tree with due ceremonies and formalities conducted by Dada Kelkar and Upasani. One Dikshit Brahmin was appointed for worship, and the management was entrusted to a devotee Shagun. Complete version of the story. Mr. B.V. Deo, retired Mamlatdar, who is an official of Thana, and a great devotee of Sai Baba, made inquiries about this matter with Shagun Meru Nayak, and Govind Kamlikar Dikshit had published a full version of the Padukas in Sai Leela in volume 11. It runs as follows. In 1834 Shaka, which is 1912 AD, one Dr. Ram Rao Kothare of Mumbai came to Shirdi for Baba's darshan. His compounder and his friend Bhai Krishnaji Ali Bakar accompanied him. The compounder and Bhai became intimate with Shagun Meru Nayak and G.K. Dikshit. While discussing this, these persons thought that there must be some memorial of Sai Baba's first advent at Shirdi and his sitting under the holy neem tree. They thought of installing Baba's padukas there, and were going to make them of some rough stone. Then Bhai's friend, the compounder, suggested that if this matter was made known to his master Dr. Ramrao Kothare, he would prepare nice padukas for this purpose. All liked the proposal, and Dr. Kothare was informed of it. He came to Shirdi and drew a plan of the padukas. He went to Upasani Maharaj in Khandoba's temple and showed him his plan. The latter made many improvements, drew lotus flowers, conch, disc, mace, etc., and suggested that the following shloka regarding neem tree's greatness and Baba's yogic powers be inscribed. The verse was as follows. Sada nimb vrakshasya mooladivasat sudhastravinam tiktmakt priyamtam tarum kalpavriksha sadikam sadhyantam namamishwaram sadgurum sainatham. Upasani's suggestions were accepted and carried out. The padukas were made in Mumbai and sent to Shirdi with the compounder. Baba said that they should be installed on the Purnima, which is the 15th of Shravan. On the day of at 11 a.m., G.K. Dikshit brought them on his head from Khandoba's temple to Dwarka Mai, which is a masjid, in a procession. Baba touched the padukas, saying that these are the feet of the Lord, and asked the people to install them at the foot of the neem tree. A day earlier, one Parsi devotee of Mumbai named Pasta Sheth sent rupees 25 by money order. Baba gave this sum for the installation of the Padukas. The total expense of the installation came to rupees 100, out of which 75 rupees were collected by subscription. For the first 5 years, G.K. Dikshit worshipped the Padukas daily, and then this was done by Lakshman Kacheshwar Jakari. In the first 5 years, Dr. Kothare sent rupees 2 per month for lighting the lamp, and he also sent the railing round the Padukas. The expense of bringing the railing from the station to Shirdi and roofing was paid by Shagun Meru Nayak. Now Jakari Nana Pujari, who's also the Nana Pujari, does the worship, and Shagun Meru Nayak offers the Nevedya and lights the evening lamp. Nevedya is the bhog that is offered, the food that's offered to the deity. Bhai Krishnaji was originally a devotee of Akalkot Maharaj. He had come to Shirdi at the installation of the Padukas in Shaka 1834 on his way to Akalkot. He wanted to go to Akalkot after taking the darshan of Baba. He asked Baba's permission for this. Baba said, "Oh, what is there in Akalkot? Why do you go there? The Maharaj of the place is here, myself." Hearing this, Bhai did not go to Akalkot. He came to Shirdi off and on, and after the installation of the Padukas. Mr. B.V. Dev concluded that Himar Pant did not know of these details. Had he known them, he would not have failed to depict them in the Satcharitra. Wrestling bout with Mohiddin Tamboli and change in lifestyle. To return to the other stories of Baba, there was a wrestler in Shirdi by name Mohiddin Tamboli. Baba and he did not agree on some points, and both had a fight. In this, Baba was defeated. Thenceforth, Baba changed his dress and mode of living. He donned kafni, wore a langot, which is a waistband, and covered his head with a piece of cloth. He took a piece of sackcloth for his bed, and was content with wearing torn and worn-out rags. He always said poverty is better than kingship, for far better than lordship. The Lord is always brother, that is the befriender of the poor. Ganga Gate was also very fond of wrestling. Once while he was wrestling, a similar feeling of dispassion descended over him, and at the proper time he heard the voice of an adept saying that he should wear out his body, playing with God. So he too gave up samsara and turned towards God realization. He established a mutt on the banks of the river near Puntambe and lived there with his disciples. Sai Baba did not mix and speak with these people. He only gave answers when he was questioned. By the day he always sat under the neem tree, sometimes in the shade of a babool tree near the stream on the outskirts of the village. In the afternoon he used to walk at random and go at times to Neemgaon. There he frequented the house of Bala Sahib Dengle. Baba loved Bala Sahib. His younger brother, named Nana Sahib, had no son, though he married a second wife. Bala Sahib sent Nana Sahib for taking darshan of Sai Baba, and after some time with his grace, Nana Sahib got a son. From that time onwards, people began to come in large numbers to see Sai Baba, and his fame began to spread and reach Ahmednagar. From thence, Nana Sahib Chandorkar and Keshav Chidamber and many others began to come to Shirdi. Baba was surrounded by his devotees during the day and slept at night in an old and dilapidated masjid. Baba's paraphernalia at this time consisted of chilam, tobacco, a tumbrel, which is a tin pot, long kafni, a piece of a round piece of white cloth on his head, was twisted like matted hair, and flowed down from the left ear on the back. This was not washed for weeks. He wore no shoes, no sandals. A piece of sackcloth was his seat for most of the day. He wore a kupin waistcloth band, and for warding off cold, he always sat in front of the dhoni, which is the sacred fire, facing south with his left hand resting on the wooden railing. In that dhoni he offered an oblation of egoism, desires, and always uttered, Allah Malik. God is the sole owner. The masjid in which he sat was only of two-room dimensions, where all devotees came and saw him. After 1912, there was a change. The old masjid was repaired and a pavement was constructed. Before Baba came to live in this masjid, he lived for a long time in a place Takia, where with ghungru, that is small bells, tied on his ankles, Baba danced beautifully and sang with tender love, turning water into oil. Sai Baba was very fond of lights. He used to borrow oil from the shopkeepers and keep lamps burning the whole night in the masjid and the temple. This went on for some time. The banyas were the shopkeepers who supplied oil gratis, once met together and decided not to give him oil. When, as usual, went to ask for oil, they all gave him a distinct no. Unperturbed, Baba returned to the masjid and kept the dry wicks in the lamps. The banyas were watching him with curiosity. Baba took the tumbril, contained very little few drops of oil, put water into it and drank it, and then forced it out to fall into the container. After consecrating the tin pot in this way, he again took the water from the tin pot and filled all the lamps with it and lighted them. To the surprise and dismay of the watching banyas, the lamps began to burn and kept burning the whole night. The banyas, which is the shopkeepers, repented and apologized, and Baba forgave them and asked them to be more truthful in future. The pseudo guru Johar Ali. 5 years after the wrestling bout above mentioned, one fakir from Ahmednagar by name Johar Ali came to Rahata with his disciples and stayed in Bakal, a spacious room, near Veerbhadra temple. The fakir was learned, could repeat the whole Quran, and had a sweet tongue. Many religious and devout people of the village came to him and began to respect him. With the help of the people, he started to build an Eidgah, a walled enclosure in which Muslims pray on Eid day, near the Veerbhadra temple. There was some quarrel about this affair, on account of which Jawar Ali had to leave Rahata. Then he came to Shirdi and lived in the masjid with Baba. People were captured by his sweet talk, and he began to call Baba his disciple. Baba did not object and consented to be his chela, which is his disciple. Then both Guru and chela decided to return to Rahata and live there. The Guru never knew his disciple's worth, but the disciple knew the shortcomings of the Guru. Still, he never disrespected him, observing carefully his duties. He even served the master in various ways. They used to come to Shirdi off and on, but their main stay was at Rahata. The loving devotees of Baba and Shirdi did not like that Baba should stay away from them in Rahata. So they went in deputation to bring Baba back to Shirdi. When they met Baba near the Eidgah and told the purpose for which they came, Baba said to them that the fakir was an angry, ill-tempered fellow. He would not leave him, and that they should better go back to Shirdi without him before the fakir returned. While they were thus talking, the fakir turned up and was very angry with them for trying to take away his disciple. There was some hot discussion and altercation, and it was finally decided that both the Guru and the Chela should return to Shirdi. And so they returned and lived in Shirdi. But after a few days, the Guru was tested by Devidas, and he was found wanting. 12 years before Baba arrived in Shirdi with the marriage party, this Devidas, aged about 10 or 11 years, came to Shirdi and lived in the Maruti temple. Devidas had fine features and brilliant eyes, and he was dispassion incarnate and a jnani. Many people, namely Tatya Kote, Kashinath, and others, regarded him as their guru. They brought Jawar Ali in his presence, and in the discussion that followed, Jawar was worsted and fled from Shirdi. He went and stayed in Bijapur and returned after many years to Shirdi and prostrated himself before Sai Baba. The delusion that he was Guru and Sai Baba, his chela, was cleared away, and as he repented, Sai Baba treated him with respect. In this case, Sai Baba showed by his conduct how one should get rid of egoism and do the duties of a disciple to attain the highest end, which is self realization. The story is told here according to the version given by Mahalsapati, a great devotee of Sai Baba. Bow to Sri Sai, peace be to all. With this, we come to the end of chapter 5. Thank you everyone for joining. Om Sai Ram, Jai Mohanji. Namaste.